So how you guys doing today? Everyone doing okay? It's hot? A little bit. You guys enjoying your day at Warped Tour so far? It's pretty much over, right? I guess. Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for joining my class today. My name is Fronzak, and I'm here to empower you and build you up. Last year, I taught a class on Warped Tour. My class was more geared towards those of you trying to be in a band and pursue a career in music. And this year, my lesson is a lot more spread out. It's geared towards anybody that wants to be a businessman, an entrepreneur, a businesswoman, anyone that wants to work for themselves and break away from that 9-to-5 that everyone gets sucked into. So, are any of you guys interested in working for yourselves and being an entrepreneur? Awesome. Perfect. So, how many of you guys know the definition of an entrepreneur? Anybody? Cool. Salesman. That's a pretty brief definition.
Yeah, I was keeping it simple, man.
By definition, an entrepreneur is one who organizes, manages, and assumes the risks of a business or enterprise. And the key word to think of there is risk. There are some risks involved when becoming an entrepreneur, but with risk comes reward, and that's why I think being an entrepreneur is awesome. And I'm here to help you minimize those risks, because like I said, there are risks, but there are ways to minimize those risks and succeed. So, I'm Fronzak, and I knew from a young age that living a normal life wasn't really for me. At age 9, I started a used golf ball reselling business where I would clean and sort used golf balls and sell them to my neighbors. At age 10, I started a lawn care business, and my competitive advantage was that I'd bring my lawn equipment to people's front doors that had overgrown lawns, and I would knock on their door and say, hey, I'm here to cut your lawn, and you're going to give me $20. And I very rarely got turned down. Either it was my businessmanship or the fact that I was 10 or whatever, but I was hustling from a young age. At age 12, I started hustling mass quantities of bubble gum to my school. Everyone always hounded me for gum, and I said, hey, if everyone in this whole middle school wants gum, I'm gonna buy it wholesale and start selling it to everybody. So I started doing that. At age 14, I started Attila, and at the same time, I started experimenting with normal jobs. A lot of the work I did was in restaurants and stuff like that behind the scenes. I did a little bit of retail work, and my very first job was actually bagging groceries at a grocery store. So it wasn't exactly, a dream job by any means, but I'll tell you one thing. Even though I was bagging groceries at a grocery store, I took great pride in it, and I did everything I could to be the best at it. It may not have been my dream job, but I think that your work ethic says a lot about you. So the thing about it was, when I was working at this grocery store and bagging groceries, I hated the fact that I could be working hard and the guy next to me could be slacking off, but he got paid the same amount as me. And I think that's when it clicked in my head that, hey, I don't want to work a normal job. This is stupid. This doesn't make any sense. I want to do something to where my hard work reflects on how much I get paid. I don't want to have a boss telling me what to do. I don't want to be surrounded by slackers. And that's when I decided to become an entrepreneur, and that I never wanted to do anything like that again. So if you guys are interested in starting your career, doing something you love, and becoming an entrepreneur, I highly suggest it, because if you're a hardworking individual, that's the life you need to start doing right now. So the first 2 questions you need to ask yourself when becoming an entrepreneur is, do you love it, and are you good at it? So think deeply right now about what it is that you want to become and what you want to do with your life. Are you good at it, and do you love it? If you answered yes to those 2 questions, then that is what you need to be doing. I'm telling you right now. I always tell people to be realistic. You have to be realistic when choosing your career path. For example, let's say you really want to be an artist, but you're just terrible at art. You can't draw, you just are really bad at it. That might not be the career path for you. And that doesn't mean that you shouldn't pursue art in your free time for fun, because you should do anything you love. But if you don't really possess the skills to succeed at that, somebody else is going to be way better than you, and they're going to leave you in the dust. So try to be realistic and choose something that you love, but that you're also good at. I always tell people to be patient, because time is the one aspect people overlook the most. You might have an amazing idea, whether it's starting your band, your company, your brand, but you might just not be giving it enough time. How many of you guys know that one person that says, I want to work out and get in better shape and lose weight, and they go to the gym every day for 2 weeks and then they give up? We all know that person, right? Well, the reason that they didn't see any results is because they only gave it 2 weeks. A business is just like very similar. It's the same thing. If you don't give it enough time to develop, then you're not going to succeed at it. So make sure you're giving it enough time to grow and develop and turn into something bigger. I came up with this thing that I call the success equation. Success equals passion plus dedication plus time. So don't forget about the time factor, because that's a big part of it. Attila, for example, I started Attila when I was 14, I said. I'm 25 now, so that was 11 years ago. So to put things in perspective, it took Attila 11 years to go from playing in people's basements to headlining Warped Tour. So it was a long journey, but we never gave up along the way. My clothing line that I started, Stay Sick, I started that 5 years ago. A lot of people don't know that, but that's because the first 2 years Stay Sick was a brand, nobody bought anything. That was fine with me. I didn't care. I started making clothes because I love it. I enjoy the art of making clothes and coming up with designs. And granted, most people would have given up within those first 2 years. I never gave up because I didn't care if I was making sales or not. I was looking at the big picture. I love making clothes and I want to keep doing this for as long as I can. There's no such thing as luck. Luck is a word I hate. Luck is a word used by unsuccessful people to describe the success around them. People see others that have nice cars or a nice house and they say, oh, that person is so lucky. They got so lucky. Lucky them. There's no such thing as luck. Luck doesn't exist. Those people worked hard to get those things that they have. If you live life thinking that there's a magical fairy that's going to drop money on your head, you've got the wrong idea. There's no such thing as luck. There's no magic. There's no chance. The world is kind of hard, to be honest. It's a rough world, and to get the things you want, you really have to work hard for it and push for it. But the more dedicated you are, the more likely you are to succeed. The only person that can allow you to fail is yourself. Success is like an iceberg. People only see the little bit that's above the water. They don't see all the hard work and dedication below the water. It's easy to look at something and say, oh man, look at how great they've done. It's so easy, but you don't realize that it took a long time to get to that point, and things look better from the outside than they really are. Things always tend to look easier. I believe that your attitude is one of the biggest factors that determines whether or not you will succeed. Start taking a look at yourself and evaluate yourself. What's your attitude like? Do you have a positive attitude? Do you look at life with a good outlook, or do you wake up every day thinking the world's against you? We all know that one person that's just got that dark cloud above their head and they think that everyone's against them, and some people have that attitude, but that's the worst attitude you can have. No matter what you're doing and no matter where you're at in life, you should wake up every day with a smile on your face and know that whatever it is that you want to go out there and achieve, you're going to achieve that and you're going to succeed no matter what. And if you believe that you're going to succeed at all costs, you will succeed. You're the only person that stops yourself from reaching your goals. I always tell people to follow your passion and money will follow. Profit is not the goal. Profit is the result. Let that sink in for a second. What I'm telling you is if you go out there chasing money, you're going to fail. You might think that you love something because it makes a lot of money and that's a good path to go for. But if you don't care about that and you don't actually love that particular career, then that's not for you. Because with any business you start, no matter what it is, typically speaking, the first few years of that business, you aren't going to make any money at all. The first few years of any business is a sacrifice. So if you don't love what you're doing, you're going to give up within those first few years because you don't care about it and you're not interested in it. Being an entrepreneur is hard, and passion is the only thing that keeps you afloat in the beginning. You're going to hit stages where you want to quit, you want to give up and throw everything in and just run away. But passion's the only thing that pushes you through those rough stages where you think the world is against you. Passion's the only thing that pushes you through to that next stage to where your business starts profiting.